Hey everyone, it's Emily here, and it's time for another Segue Magic, and today we are talking about things that we loved in the past, but they didn't stand the test of time, and we don't really love quite as much anymore. So the first one I have is TV show Bones. A couple years ago, I had discovered it on Netflix, and I just binge watched it like crazy. Like, there would be entire weekends where all I did was watch Bones, and I was obsessed with it. But then by the time I caught up with the series and was able to watch it, week after week, something changed. And I just feel like the newer seasons just aren't as good as the older seasons were in Bones. And so I actually haven't watched it in really, really long time. I think maybe eventually, I'll catch up and, watch all the episodes that I haven't seen yet. But it just doesn't have quite that magic it did when I first started watching a few years ago. The next is the Christy Miller series by Robin Jones Gunn. I was obsessed with this book series when I was in high school. I picked up this book, Summer Promise, the first one, when I was in 8th grade, right before my confirmation. And I remember I could relate to the characters so much, especially Christy Miller, the main character. And it really helped in, my faith life and just, the ways I viewed things, and I could relate to them. And I was just, obsessed with this series. And they would, correspond with where I was in life so perfectly. But now I think I just my views on dating, and I'm not quite as conservative as I was in high school when I was reading these books. And so they still have a special place in my heart because of how much I connected to them in high school, and I still really love all of the characters. And so I'll still read the books as they come out. Because now she has a new series of the two main characters, and now they're married and all that stuff. So I definitely want to know what happens to the characters, but a lot of what the author has to say about faith and stuff, I take with a grain of salt, and I'm just not as in a hurry to read the next installment of this series as I was in the past. And now, I'll read them maybe on occasion just for, nostalgia's sake, but they definitely do not have the same connection to my life as they did back in the day. And then finally, the last one is Sex and the City. I still really like this series, and I still appreciate it, and I still like the stories and all that stuff. I was working on something a few months ago, and I decided to pop in the first season just so I could have it on in the background. And as I was listening to it, I just realized I was, becoming more of a critical consumer. And I was listening to what she was saying and what the shows were saying, and I was just kind of I don't know if I really agree with that. I don't know if I really like where this is going. And I think it got better as the seasons went on. And so I still really like this series, but I definitely view it differently than I did before. And I just don't, it's not quite the same as it once was. So I guess those are my main three. I'm sure there's other things that I really, really loved in the past that I just can't stand now, but those were the ones that really stood out to me, where it's I do like them, but it's just not the same as it was before. So I can't wait to hear what you all have to say, and I will see you next week.